All right, all right, all right. Happy Monday, everybody. Thank you for joining this live Zoom. This is Monday Sprint Planning with Elify, and I'm happy to have you on. We'll be letting people into this room as we continue on with our conversation, and hopefully you are ready to start the week strong. Greg, Ruben, good to see you guys. Hope all is well and hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Let's get into it and talk about this. Obviously, if we want to post our business cards or anything like that, we can do that for a little bit of networking this morning, but we're already connected with each other on this call. If you're joining us live on the YouTube channel and you have a question or comment, you can go ahead and throw that down there. But I would encourage you to join these live Zooms, and you can find out the information on these Zooms with our week at a glance card. Make sure to check out the social groups to get that. So sprint planning, everybody, right? We know it. Make a plan, execute our plan. What's our plan for the week? In fact, probably post a video. I was thinking about sprint planning on Sunday, and that's typically what Guy and I do over here. Is we're already thinking about and preparing for our week right as the week is starting. We're already letting the juices flow in our mind to come up with what we've got to do for the week. What are those win list items going to be? What are our follow-ups going to be? Who are we reaching out to? Who are we targeting, etc. Just to let all of that stuff get planned and prepared so we can execute it. Then we start to lay it down in writing, right? What are the activities that I'm going to do? Most of the time, there's a lot of replication, meaning redundancy on what we're doing every day. We call that our daily moo. Okay, are you making follow-ups every day? Are you doing outreach every day? Are you doing prospecting every day? Are you carving out time that's going to be focused on revenue generating activities in your business? So big items when it comes to sprint planning. We talk about time blocking. What have you blocked out this week that you know you need to be at a certain place at a certain time? Are we talking about the 4 Elify calls that we do every week, right? The Monday sprint planning call, the Tech Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central Time, the Thursday Roundtable Mastermind call, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, or the Friday with the Founders. Have you blocked that in? Are you blocking in other time blocks to work on other items? And again, when I think about sprint planning, I'm not just focused on the career or the finance or the business type of stuff. I'm focusing on everything that's included in this wheel of life. And I know at the start of the year, I took an opportunity to go through my own wheel of life, chart it out, make my map, do all of that type of stuff. We're getting ready to roll into June. And then at the end of June, we'll be reviewing this again every 6 months to see, are we making forward progress to balancing this out? Where do we need to step up? Where did things fall through the gaps, etc.? It's part of this continual circular process. But what I want to spend some time about today is I want to talk about running your sprint. So let's say you've taken an opportunity, you've flushed out a sprint plan, and in technology for us, we do technology sprint planning in addition to our own business sprint planning, and it looks something like that. The tech team gets together. We talk about the objectives that we have for the next 2 weeks. We work a 2-week sprint. Well, we look at the backlog of items and what we're going to bring in. These are going to be the win list items. Each person takes an opportunity to look at those items and make suggestions on what we think it's going to take to do that work. These are all things we can replicate these methodologies in our own sprint planning. If you have an item that's follow up with somebody, you can identify how long it's going to take that action. And we talked about this last week. Taking massive action is actually the number one factor of whether you're going to succeed or fail. Because if you don't act at all, if you don't take any action, you're not going to make forward progress. So you have to know what you need to do, and then you have to take action on it. So typically when we're sprint planning, we're looking at the items. What do we need to do? Oh, I've got to outreach. I've got to send this stuff out to this person. I've got to get this item done. I've got to get this card built. And I have an idea in my mind of an estimated amount of time that's going to take, because we all know we only have a certain amount of time. We need to prioritize our time, and we need to use that time to get things done. Then after we flushed out that whole sprint, we have our game plan. We start executing on that sprint, and we only focus on one day at a time. What are the items that need to get done today? And we're holding each other accountable on all of this. So typically, like even this morning, after I did my sprint planning on Sunday, this morning, I think it was like 7 a.m., I'm already starting a text thread with Guy of just a recap for Monday. And it's an overview. Here's what I've got today. This is as much for Guy to know and hold me accountable as it is for myself to understand and review everything that I need to get done so I can hold myself accountable. So what calls, what meetings, what follow-ups, what activities we have going on for both sides. He replies with his, I reply with mine, and we know what's going on. We talked about accountability in past weeks. If you do not have an accountability partner, if you do not have a business partner, you have an opportunity within the community to leverage the community if you need it. If you want somebody to hold you accountable, post your daily plan if you need to into the social group. Hey guys, big day ahead. I'm going to these 3 networking events. My goal is prospecting. I've got follow-ups. I'm sitting down and carving out an hour to build a card, etc. Whatever your plan is for the day, and each day subsequently results in the week, you're going to want to flush out that plan, and then you're going to want to take action on that plan. And as you're planning it out, again, you're just thinking about what time. You don't want to take on 1,000 activities if you're never going to have the time to do them. You're going to take on the top 3 items every day at a minimum, right? Your win list items. What are the 3 most important things? And then you're going to try and work on some other items, okay? And then you're just going to, at the end of the day, measure. Did I get done what I planned to get done today? If I didn't get done one of the win items, is that going to supersede what I have planned for tomorrow? You know, what am I going to do to start making this forward progress, and how am I going to hold myself accountable? So again, every day when we run our sprints, I will, again, have a conversation with Guy first thing in the morning. You know what I mean? When it comes to work stuff, 7 a.m., we're messaging back and forth. Here's the game plan for today, right? Sprint planning call. After this, I've got another meeting and a series of meetings. I've got some running around to do, all of these types of things that have already been itemized out. So I don't have to think it all today. I just have to look at my list and then take action on that list, get it done to the best of my ability, then move on to the next item. At the end of the day, I'm going to review that list. And my number one goal isn't to do everything on my list. That would be awesome. It's to do at least 65% of what I planned to accomplish. Get a little bit more than half done. If I do that, I know I am winning the day. Rinse and repeat each day. Tuesday is going to look the same. Maybe variations in what I have blocked out for that day, or tasks or meetings. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I'm rolling back into Will Skill and Refill over the weekend. It's just rinse and repeat on all of that. So Ruben, I see you've got your hand up. Go ahead, my friend.
Yes. Talk about taking action again. Just last Friday, we had a guest on here, Cinda Lee, and she posted there that she was going to have a podcast with you.
Yep.
I copied that link and I put it on all of my links, and it was live. The only limitation was after a while, after you finished it, it went dark. So I had to go back in there and delete it. But anyway, I reached out to her over the weekend to set up a one-to-one with her. So we had a one-to-one yesterday.
Yeah.
And I used the Carrillo Coffee Chat questionnaire that I developed so I can get into her world in 20 minutes. She liked that, and I sent her a copy of that. The bottom line is that I invited her to our networking group this morning, and she was able to reach out to our community of people and basically tell them what service and product that she provides. So I think right now we have a partnership that's expanding, and because I'm interested in developing a representation of my network on the West Coast, and she's from California.
Yep.
So that's what my particular goal is with her. And of course, she has different goals for that, her own personal goals. But the bottom line is that because of our collaboration and discussion, I'm going to be on her podcast on July the 8th at 5 p.m. Central Time. And guess what I'm going to be discussing? What you did.
Yep.
Shuffle.
Yep.
So it pays off.
It does. And I think that's a testament to everything, Ruben. To be honest, it does. All you have to do is take the actions. Ruben, I think you'd attest, this is not rocket science. This is not brain surgery. You don't have to have a PhD in all of this stuff. You just have to be willing to put in the action, to put in the work, to take a little bit of time, to connect with people, to follow up with people, to engage. That's all it takes, everybody. But you have to be willing to do the work. You have to be willing to take the action. And when you do, the results will come, and you cannot be discouraged. You have to be relentlessly consistent on following your path and following your plan. And this is what it boils down to. This is why we do the Monday sprint planning every day. Hey, Shelly, thanks for the chat comment. Hope you're doing well. Look, guys, you just want to make a plan. We know that people who put their plans down in writing, if you're doing that mental planning right now, what's my mental checklist of what I need to do? Okay, I got that, I got that, I got that, I got that. Great. But why go through the brain damage? Like, get a slip of paper if you need to, okay? Write today on one side, fold it in half, and tasks on the other, right? Monday on it. What are you going to do? Is there any time-sensitive stuff that's happening Monday, And if you can, you try to get into a routine, right? Like, do you check your emails at the same time every day? I know I check mine first thing in the morning, right after lunch. And people know, look, if you want to get a reply back from me, you probably should text or reach out, call, do that type of stuff, because email is not the best channel. But I will come back, and then after the afternoon, if you email me late in the afternoon, I'm not going to see it till the next day, because my routine is I check my emails twice a day. If you're a person who the phone goes off and you immediately look at it and you check that email and it's a spam email and you find yourself being distracted, you can implement things like time blocking that are going to support you in getting your actions and activities done. So this is what's so powerful about making a plan and sticking to your plan, creating a daily method of operation, as we call it, the daily MOO, M-O-O, method of operation. What are you going to do every day? And what is it revolving around? It doesn't all have to be work-related stuff. If you're looking at what success means, and we're talking about having balance here, are you planning to take care of things that are physical today for your physical health, or for your family today, or for your mental health? Or maybe you're doing some meditation or some gratitude on a daily basis, your financial, your spiritual, your career, your personal. Where are you fitting this stuff in during your week? And if that seems overwhelming with 7 categories and you just want to focus on the work stuff, great, but put your plan down in writing. That way you get rid of the brain damage, and you can look at it at any time and you can say, this, and this. If it's in a notebook, great. If it's on the web, great. You find the method that works best for you and then leverage that method. I'm a big fan of the Google Calendar, because it syncs up with my phone calendar and I can check it all the time. I can make an event repeat. I can color code my events. I can tie it into other scheduling tools. It's very powerful and it's completely free. So again, what is your plan going to be, and are you ready to execute that plan? Once you have your plan written out, and guys, planning does not or should not take that long, 10 to 20 minutes a week to just go through and list out your plan. If you're really getting into the groove of everything, right? After you have your plan, you're going to review it, in some cases the night before or the morning of, or both. And I do both. At the end of every day, I'm going to review my daily progress. Did I do well today? Where is there room for improvement? We call it a retrospective, right? The retro. We do it on a daily basis, and then we do it at the end of the sprint for the whole sprint. We want to measure and hold ourselves accountable each day. How did I do today? Was today a great day, an off day? I can always reset and do better tomorrow, but I want to try and at least win every day. And if I win more days than I lose, I'm going to make forward progress. Then after I do my retro, I will do a quick review. What does tomorrow look like? Do I have to make any adjustments? Do I need to reach out to anybody the night before? If I've got meetings, sometimes I'll reach out before the meeting. Hey, are we still on? Hey, I'll talk to you in an hour. Those are all touch points. Again, letting that person know, I already know we're meeting together. We've set the expectation, all of those types of things. So Again, I'm going to retro my current day. I'm going to plan for the next day. Then I'll go to sleep. I'm resting easy because I know I've prepared for the day to come. When I wake up in the morning, I can do a quick cursory overview. Did anything come in or happen the night overnight that might have changed anything in my plan? No? Okay, great. Now I already know. I reviewed it last night. I do a quick, 2-minute review. This is my schedule for today and some of these win items and tasks. And then I get after it. Now, a quick tip for everybody. If you're a person who wants to get so granular that you're going to itemize your day in 15-minute increments, I'm going to tell you the first curveball that's going to come your way. And it's the unexpected expectancies. It's the chaos of everyday life. I'm going to give you an example. Okay, woke up this morning. What's wrong with my daughter? Pink eye. She's got these 2 big swollen eyes. They're all nasty looking, and she's just rubbing her eyes saying that they hurt. Okay, didn't plan for that. Now we got to factor in getting to the doctor and getting the eye drops and doing all of that type of stuff. But we have to plan for unexpected expectancies. So what do? When I'm building out my sprint, I'm building it out about 60 to 65% of my day. And I'm leaving about 35 to 40% of my time flexible. And what I will use with that flex time is time to take care of my win list tasks, right? It's not, when am I going to do this task? I'm going to do it on Monday from 8 a.m. to 8:30. It's, I've got to get this task done, and I've got some flexible time to work on these items. But if something comes up, I've got flexibility to deal with that unexpected expectancy. Same thing. You might be sitting down, getting ready to go through follow-ups, and your phone rings, and it's the prospect that you've been chasing around for 6 months. Now you're left with the dilemma. What do? Do I say, no, I can't talk to you right now, I'm going to follow up with these guys? Or do I say, great, I'm going to put that on hold, I'll move it to my flex time, and I'm going to have that conversation with that prospect? Again, you have to plan for some flexibility, and that will help you smooth out the turbulence that's going to happen on any given day. Because that's the reality, guys. We live in a world of information and chaos bombarding us from every direction, and things that are ready to knock us off our game or put us from a proactive state into a reactive state. You want to be in that proactive state. That's what sprint planning is about. We're going to proactively plan our week. We're going to list out all of our important items to get done. We're going to list out all of our scheduled times, meetings, events, and things like that. And then we're going to take a step back, sigh of relief, take a deep breath, and take that burden off of our shoulders of having to remember all of that, because now it's down in writing. Then the only thing we have to do is AMP, attitude, moment, process, right in the moment. What am I going to do right now? Okay, I'm going into sprint planning call. Okay, what are we going to cover? What are we going to talk about? All of that type of stuff. This is exactly what I did right before I came on this call. When this call ends, I'm going to look down at my list and say, oh, okay, I know what the next item is. For me, it's going over to the pharmacy to pick up eye drops and get back. And then it's to start doing some email outreach. I already know. I don't have to think about it. I just have to look down and say, okay, that's what I'm going to be doing. Are you in a position today where you're going to be doing that for yourself in whatever you're working on? Because if you're not, this is your call to action to do it. That's it. This is your call to action to sit down and do it. Make your plan and then execute your plan. And here's my belief. I believe that if you are not doing that right now, you're at a disadvantage. And if you pick up and adopt the methodologies that we're talking about and start making your plan and executing your plan and looking at it, not in the big overall grand scheme of things. We did that at the beginning of the year. We'll do that again at the end of June. We'll course correct and take out our compass and make sure we're still pointed in the right direction. But guys, those big, hairy, audacious goals that seem insurmountable, they're only achieved when we chip away, when we eat that elephant one bite at a time, which means working on it on a daily basis. So we have to break everything down to what are we going to do today? Because we can't change anything we did yesterday. It's over. The weekend is over, everybody. It's Monday. And we can't work on stuff that we had planned for Tuesday because tomorrow isn't here yet. It's Monday. So you're going to do your plan. And then after you're done with your plan, you're going to look at it. You can put Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays sheets to the side, and then you're just going to get laser focused on Monday. Live in the now, guys. Live in the present and start getting things done. So I want to open this up for any questions, tips, tricks. Jeff, I see your hand up. Drive safe, my friend. Don't look at the screen.
No, yeah, I'm actually headed to the Iowa State tournament today.
Love it. Good luck. Good luck.
Thanks. I'm taking my camper and my dog, so it'll be interesting. First time doing that. Okay, so I got to tell one thing that I used to do back in the day when I coached at Drake. And again, this is pre-digital, right?
Yep.
So I had a notebook, and this will go right along with what you're saying, ER. I had a notebook, and I don't know if you guys ever remember this. I mean, it'll age you a little bit. But you had little square colored bordered cards, right? They're white cards, and on the border was red, yellow, and you get a pack of these cards and a leather folder that you would open up, and top priority, obviously at the top, you would put, your top priority in that category. So let's say yellow was my, recruiting category, and I would have my top things I needed to do for recruiting. Then the second column would be blue. That would be scheduling, which was a critical thing. And so I'd have each tournament or, where the hotel was, what it means, all the details on these little cards. And if I was missing something, I would just continue. But it's kind of like what you're saying, but it's a tangible way. I could literally open that book, and at the top of any category, I could pull out the card. And if I accomplished it, then I could flip it over and recycle it or throw it away and start over.
Yep.
Now, in the digital age, you could pretty much kind of do the same thing. If you're very visual and tactile like me, having that physical card, I could literally pull it out, shove them in my pocket for that day and say, these are the 3 cards that I have to get done today. I've got to call coach, whatever, and find out what, whatever. I got to call these 2 recruits, and then I'd have the card, my honey-do list for my, personal life, list. So anyway, if you can visualize that old folder, I do not even know where it is. I probably got it buried somewhere. But if you could digitize that, I think for those of you that are on the call like me, that I need to visually see my tasks in front of me. That's why I have so many stuff on my counter. I have so many handwritten things, and then I lean them into the digital world, into Google Docs and whatnot. Yep. So anyway, I don't know if any of you have used that before. What your thoughts are on that, ER, or anybody else, on kind of prioritizing your categories and then prioritizing inside of each of those categories, and pull out and say, today, these are the 2 or 3 cards that I will knock out today. So
I love it. I love it. I mean, Jeff, at the end of the day, what we're talking about, whether you use an offline, analog, paper-based method, or whether you go 100% digital, what we're talking about is just getting organized and just having stuff down so that we know what we need to be doing. And Jeff, to your point, I remember when Guy and I were playing football at the university, and we would get an itinerary sent over to us. And it was like, here's your itinerary, guys. Here, you need to know as a student athlete where to be and when to be there. And as long as you show up and do your role, everything's going to go smooth. And so we would get these itineraries at the beginning of the, of the day, and it would be like, okay, 6 a.m. there's a workout. I got to be at the, at the field house, at the gym for the workout, 6 a.m. Then after that, it's like breakfast. Then after that, it was like school classes starting at 8 a.m., and you're going through each of these things. And then they'd have all the classes from your own schedule on there. These were printed out and given to us as student athletes. Why did the university or the coaching staff do that for us? They wanted to make it easy for us to just get our minds out of all these things we have to do and only focus on what is on our plan. We would go through our classes. Then after the class ended, it'd be like, okay, now you've got like training or video or practice or whatever. And it would all be itemized on this itinerary. Again, that's what we're talking about from a sprint planning perspective, is what's your weekly itinerary going to look like? What is it going to look like for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week? If you need to work on Saturday or Sunday, do it for those days as well. And then, Jeff, to your point, if you have categories that you're working on and times blocked out to work on elements from that category, make sure you have a list that's prioritized within that category of all the things that you need to get done. And then make sure you work on that, eat that frog first. All too often, I find people pulling from the bottom of their list versus the top of their list. I see it in our development sometimes as well, where we'll have a queue of like 5 items, and I have to course correct. I have to say, guys, why are we working on this one thing when we have this more important thing to do? And then, we refocus and we readjust. So these are all important tips, tricks, and strategies. So thank you, Jeff, for that. Again, I just want to encourage everybody, get it all out. Get it out of your head, list it down, look at it. If you do it all on paper, 100% fine. I still use a notebook, guys. Sometimes I'll take pictures of the pages and link them into the notes and things like that, but I still need to physically write it down. I think that helps my brain even remember and put emphasis on what I'm putting down. And then I might digitize it, or I'll put it into my calendar and type it in. I'll set color codes in my calendar, much to what Jeff was talking about on the offline, having different colored note cards and things like that. So these are all critical things that can help you accomplish what you're working on. And what we're focused on being efficient and doing what's going to give us the highest probability of success. Jeff is driving to a tournament right now where, I'm hoping that they win the whole thing, and it's all a result of preparation and execution. They didn't go out there willy-nilly and say, hey guys, let's bat the ball around a little bit, let's volley it a little bit, or whatever, would be fun to play around. No, they went with a laser focus of saying, look, here's how we're going to train. Here's what we're going to do. These are when practices are going to be. This is when we're going to, work out. This is what we're going to talk about. And this is all going to lead up to us getting to participate in this. Why? Because I've done this before and I know that this process works. So again, as a community here, I know this process works. If you are not working this process, it will not work for you. And all too often I find people, they either don't do anything, and guys, that's the worst scenario to be in, because time is going to happen whether you like it or not. So standing still is moving behind, or Edwin Britt says this, you need to be meaningfully specific. Otherwise you're going to be a wandering generality. Okay, so ask yourself today, are you a wandering generality? Are you just sort of floating around, doing whatever the wind takes you to do, and then opening your eyes periodically, realizing not much has changed? Or are you going to be meaningfully specific and intentional with all the things that you're doing this week as they pertain to the certain areas that you're focused and working on? If you're meaningfully specific and intentional and consistent about your activities, you will be blown away by what results from taking action on each of those activities. Again, I'm trying to throw out examples here, because I'm an athlete, like the physical stuff. I can almost guarantee you, if you are a person who's never gone out and done any exercise, and you start out by just walking around the block, or getting off your couch and walking around the living room, and you do that consistently over and over and over and over again, eventually it's going to be walking around the living room, to walking around your yard, to walking around the house, to walking around the block. You're not doing marathons, but you're a lot more active than you were. And you don't just get up and sprint a marathon. If you want to beat yourself up, I've got the Boulder coming up next week. And again, it's 6 miles. We're going to go out and do a run. I had to prepare for that. I didn't say I'm not going to do anything and then I'm going to go run this thing. I said, look, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do a mile here, 2 miles there, 3 miles there, 2 miles there, 4 miles there. So I feel prepared to execute. Same thing with Jeff's team. They're not showing up today having done zero practice, having never played a game. They put in work and activity, and that's what's enabling them to go there and be successful. Okay, guys, we're about 30 minutes in on this. We don't need to take up the whole hour. I'm going to open this up for any tips, tricks, comments, questions. Anybody? Going once. Yeah, Jeff, go ahead. Lay it down.
Well, before I left, of course, I have a wife that is very type A. She was corporate, very high level. And again, we pull out the calendar and she goes, now tell me the dates of, anything and everything. We just dumped any date of, all the stuff that happens in the month of June, right?
Yep.
And so it was this, that, and the other, personal, family, whatever, that we either have to go to, that are 100%, things that we maybe could go to. So everything's sitting on the calendar now. Once you have that, some are involved being out of town, some are in town, and then you can go ahead, and I think what you're talking about, ER, is then slot in more specifics, but you got to put what I call the calendar date things, because so many times then it sneaks up on us and we're like, oh crap, I've got to go do this, or I've got this family event or funeral or whatever I've got to get to. So then we get all discombobulated. So anyway, it's kind of the big rocks, that you have to do on the calendar. And then I think, like what you've been talking about, then slot in your specific, goals, objectives, and the little hurdles that you have to go through inside of those, what I call mandatory dates and things that you got to be aware of. Because awareness, once you're aware of things, it's you can't, blame anybody but yourself.
So true, Jeff. And I think there was an example you mentioned it, the big rocks, right? Like, let's imagine we've got this jar. We've all heard this analogy. You've got this jar, and sitting on your table are big rocks. These are the important items that you need to get done. Sand, right? The secondary items that also need to be worked on. And water, like the things you'd like to do, but maybe aren't as important, right? Primary, secondary, tertiary type of things. And if you want to fit those things into the jar, you don't pour the water in first, even though we'd all like to just focus on the things we'd like to do. There are higher priority things, the rocks. If you pour the water in first and then put the rocks in, water starts spilling out. If you pour the water in, put the sand in, water starts spilling out. If you put the sand in, you can pour water in and fill it up, but no big rocks are going to fit in. So what do? You do what Jeff's talking about. You plan by putting all of the big rocks into the jar first, okay? And I'm going to share my screen, guys, for a little bit of a calendar. We've talked about this before. And Jeff, to your point, shared calendar, my wife and I have a shared calendar. Every single event that involves me, at least, she's throwing in there, I'm throwing in there, so we can look and see what's available and plan around that. So here we are. What are our big rocks? Again, I'm going to lean into this and say my big rocks this week are these 4 calls. Maybe there's meetings that I have to add in there, and I will start blocking those things in. To Jeff's point, maybe you have to travel somewhere. So you're going to do the meeting, and then you're going to do the travel time back and forth. Maybe they're web meetings, and you can just jump on them back to back to back. But start identifying what your rocks are. You can start blocking those things out. Again, I'm going to come in here and lay things in. Maybe it's focused time where I'm not going to be distracted, right? I've got focused work time from 9 to 5 that I'm going to be focused on tasks, but I'm not going to be focused on tasks during my sprint call time because I've already put the rocks in there. If you put the rocks in the jar first, then you can pour the sand in and it'll fall in all of the cracks between the big rocks. Then once you've got the sand in the jar, you can pour the water into the jar and nothing is going to spill out. You'll take up all the extra space as the water goes in and fills in the gaps between the sand and the rocks. So again, you can start doing this on your calendar, whether it's paper, whether it's digital, and make progress. Same thing. We talked about the wheel of life, guys. This doesn't just have to be work stuff. You can put all of your priority things in here. Look, I've got a whole calendar sort of mapped out. And again, this is just an example. You want to do it for yours. And there's no set hard, this is what it has to be. Yours is yours. It's based on your goals, your intentions, your time. You know, if you're somebody who's doing this part-time as a side hustle, maybe it's going to be mornings, evenings, and weekends that you're putting into your schedule. If you're like me, and you're more like an entrepreneur, time freedom, you've got some flexibility, you're fitting everything in on any different time at any different day. And you might be doing a call on a Saturday, or you might be doing a call on a Thursday evening, or you might be doing the regular 9 to 5. So you can see on this one, I've got everything from when I'm expecting that I want to wake up, when I'm doing something physically active for myself, when I'm planning to do some meditation, when I'm spending time with my family. I'm prioritizing all of these things. Now, it doesn't mean I know exactly what I'm going to be doing during that time, but I do know what my focus is going to be on. I'm going to be doing work stuff during this time. Then I can pull up my task list, to Jeff's point, and grab the high priority items and start knocking those off. These are the top 3 work items I need to take care of. So after this sprint call ends, I'm going to be rolling into my next items. And that's how it works, guys. It doesn't take much more than that. You just need to execute on doing it. And I think this is that reason why I brought up the topic of action and activity last week. There are people right now who are going to make an amazing plan. They'll lay out every detail of the plan. They'll know exactly what they need to do, who they're doing it with, all of those things, and it'll be beautifully done. But then do you know what will happen? They'll take no action on it. They'll get to the end of the week, they'll look back on that plan, and they'll feel discouraged because they didn't make any forward progress. Guys, the planning is not the activity that's going to get you there. It's the execution and activity on that plan that will get you there. So as we finish up today's call, it's really about focusing on the actions that you've now planned. And again, eliminate all the other distractions, eliminate the future days, and only focus on what you can do in the present. Now, Dana, I see your hand up. Go ahead, my friend. Thanks for joining today.
Yeah, I'm at work, but I appreciate this sprint planning today because to share with everybody, I'm like you. I use the Google Calendar.
Yep.
But I found out that was just like the minimum thing that you could use.
Yep.
And I understand there's a lot more apps out there that allow you to schedule, but I actually use Trello.
Yep.
To whereas you can build your list of things that you want or that you need to have done. And you don't have to actually you can put dates down, but once you build your list, you could just break it down whenever you got the time, as opposed to you can make several lists to where, like you said, your most important now, your things that you just want to get done, the things that you can get done in the time that you actually have. So Trello is a good app. It's an older app, but as far as the features with the newer things to learn, I think Trello is probably the easiest and the best app right now for people to utilize.
Great recommendation, Danon. And for anybody listening, that the company is Atlassian. The solution is called Trello. They have an additional advanced solution called Jira. We actually use the Jira solution when we do our development and everything. So appreciate that recommendation. Also, big shout out to Danon. Again, prioritization. Look, he's in the middle of work, but he's just going to check in on a call real quick. I don't want to pull you away from work, but I appreciate that you're joining us, Danon. Again, it just shows that you're involved in working on stuff and you're making it a priority. Now you're going to don't get in trouble by any means, but obviously participation in that, taking action on those things. So to Danon's point, having a list, if you did 2 areas, guys. One area is the time area, like what Jeff was talking about. What do I have to do when? And the other is a list of what do I have to do at any time. If you have those 2 things alone, it's so powerful. And then if you start expanding on that, my wife's the type of person, she has to write her list down every day and she writes it fresh every day. If she didn't get something done yesterday, she tears out that page and transfers that item over to the new list. And she prioritizes her list every day. She doesn't do it because she's afraid of technology. She does it because every time she gets something done, she needs the satisfaction of striking through that item on the list and feeling empowered and encouraged that she got something done today. When she looks at her daily list at the end of every day, she can see how many items she has struck through that she got done. And she's just looking on there going, okay, did I get a little bit more than half of what I wanted to get done? then awesome. She'll put little stars next to the important ones or circles around ones that are going to be high priority for the next day. And that's it. It's just a daily part of her daily practice in the morning is to go and review the list and review it at the night. So again, there are all these tips, tricks, and strategies that we can all be using to best support us getting stuff done and making forward progress. But unless we take an opportunity to make that plan, we don't know what to execute on. Then once we make the plan, we need to be laser focused on execution. Okay, guys, any last items, questions, tips, tricks? Okay, Jeff, I see you raising your hand. Go ahead.
Just happy birthday, Danon.
Woo! Danon, happy birthday. Hopefully you get a chance to enjoy yourself as well and celebrate. And again, happy birthday from the LFI community here to Danon. Anybody else? Questions, tips, tricks? Danon, yep, you got your hand up. Go ahead, birthday boy.
I just want to say thank you. It was last week, and I've just been celebrating for the last few days, ever since last week, and now I'm back to work.
Well, I'm glad to hear you had a good birthday. Awesome. Okay, everybody. Look, I'm not going to take up the rest of your day here or the rest of the time for the hour. I think we've beat this up a pretty good amount. Here it is. Make your plan. That's what this is all about. Guy and I think it's so important that we plan and we execute our plan that we've made 25% of our weekly calls. One of the 4 calls we do every week is all about sprint planning. We know that you can start out with a big, massive goal, but that goal can seem overwhelming. We know if you break that goal down into sizable chunks, you'll know what you need to do in any given month to work towards your goal. You can break that down to a weekly goal and even a daily goal. We know that when you take care of the little things, the big things take care of themselves. So it's a matter of chipping away on the things we can control each and every day that are going to make us forward progress. We know that if we put that stuff down in writing and we review it, look at it, and execute on it, take action on it, and complete those items, we'll make forward progress. These are all inevitabilities, everybody. The only thing that's not going to work is if we don't plan and if we don't take action. I don't care what you are doing in your life. If you don't do those things, you're not going to go in the direction that you want to go. You'll stay right where you are. So my hope for you is that you just take 10 minutes today, make your list, put down your schedule. Okay, then set Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday aside. You'll look at Tuesday tomorrow and just focus on today. Sometimes I've got that important meeting that's coming up on Thursday, or that Friday call, and I get excited about it or antsy about it. Guys, I can't do any of that. I can only focus on today. Same thing for you. So focus on today. Who are you going to call today? Who are you going to follow up today? What actions are you going to take? Are you going to an event today? All of those things should be down as part of your plan. And then once you execute today, review it, review your progress, celebrate your victories. Okay. I guess if you feel a little bit defeated, that's fine too. And then get restarted again the next day. Yeah, Ruben, go ahead. I saw your hand go up. You're muted.
I was just saying, have a good week, everybody.
Yeah. I mean, that's it, guys. Have a good week. Make it your best week yet, and then rinse and repeat. That's what it all boils down to. Get out there, get active, do what you need to do. If you need help and support, the community is here to help and support you. Just reach out, put a post in, ask a question. You'd be amazed at how many people within this community want to help you be successful. If you're lost, if you need help, if you need direction, we're here for you. Okay. My direction to you right now is make your plan for the week. Make your plan for today, then focus on today and get that done. And then you can move into tomorrow. So with that being said, everybody, let's make it an amazing week. Happy Monday. We'll have Tech Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. Kathy is actually traveling, so I'm going to be the one doing Tech Tuesday at 2 p.m. tomorrow. I look forward to seeing you there. Wednesday, if you're part of Mindset of a Champion, dial into that. On Thursday, we'll be doing a roundtable mastermind discussion, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. On Friday, we'll do Friday with the founders. And in closing, I'm going to post the week at a glance card in the chat real quick for anybody who needs it before we end. So if you do need to get access to all of the meetings or anything, go on ahead and hit that chat button on Zoom and grab that little link. You can keep it open in your browser, save it to your favorites, save it to your phone, share it out to others. These are free calls, guys. If you got any value out of this, ask yourself, who else could see value that I know? Maybe it's a team member. Maybe it's a team member that you earn money off of and you want to support their success, guys. High tide raises all ships. So with that being said, happy Monday, make it a great week, and we'll talk to everybody tomorrow.